gather within me from later
Ask your doctor about Trulicity.
Do you have concerns about mild memory loss related to aging? Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere. Prevagen, healthier brain, better health.
I'm 52, but in my mind, I'm still 25. That's why I take Osteo Biflex to keep me moving the way I was made to. It nourishes and strengthens my joints for the long term.
Osteo Biflex, now in triple strength plus magnesium.
Tonight, USA Gymnastics is responding to scathing criticism from its biggest star. Simone Biles broke down in tears yesterday, saying team officials failed to protect her and her teammates from convicted sex predator Larry Nassar when he was the team doctor. Our Dr. John LaPook has reported extensively on this case and has into this update.
It's not easy being out here because I feel like every day is a reminder of what I went through and what.
Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles is one of hundreds of athletes abused by former Dr. Larry Nassar, who worked for both Michigan State University and USA Gymnastics. He's in prison for multiple sex crimes.
It's hard coming here for an organization and having had them failed us so many times. They couldn't do one damn job. You had one job. You literally had one job, and you couldn't protect us.
Today, gymnast Maggie Nichols, who first reported her concerns about Nassar in June 2015, told CBS News it takes a lot of strength for Biles to continue her Olympic training. She said, "For me, it would be very hard. I give her a lot of props." It took almost a year for the FBI to contact Nichols after they learned of her complaint. A Senate report released July 30th suggests a relationship between former USA Gymnastics President Steve Penny and the FBI investigator, Special Agent in Charge Jay Abbott, and the possibility that Penny may have tried to help get him a job with the U.S. Olympic Committee. The report cites this October 2015 email from Abbott, thanking Penny for the beer and conversation a few weeks ago and saying, "I very much appreciate what you did. The position with the USOC is truly a tantalizing and interesting possible opportunity post-Bureau."
It becomes a problem whenever we work with future people. How can we trust them?
Penny denies he acted in any way that would compromise the USAG. In a statement, USA Gymnastics said, "We are working to foster a safe, positive, and encouraging environment." But Simone Biles echoed what another elite gymnast told me today. They feel betrayed by a culture that placed medals over protecting the athletes. And years later, Nora, they're still coping with the trauma.
And so much pain. Thank you, Dr. John LaPook. Still ahead, a new study links coffee to migraines, but how many cups does it take?
Imagine if we ever got to meet. We would be such good friends. Best friends.
Advantage 2. Kills fleas through contact all month long.
I mean, he's a wreck without me.
Advantage 2. Fight the misery of biting fleas.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis, little things can be a big deal. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clear skin is achievable. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infections and headaches may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicine if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, soon more of you.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a 3-ring fender bender.
Sorry about that.
Apologies.
We're sorry.
Quite the circus, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers.
The total.
Snacking should be sweet and simple. The delicious taste of Glucerna gives you the sweetness you crave while helping you manage your blood sugar. Glucerna, everyday progress.
I would get muscle cramps several times a week for decades. And in a few days of using TheraWorks Relief, the cramps are gone because it works.
Get TheraWorks Relief today in stores everywhere.
I work hard and I want my money to work hard too. So I use my Freedom Unlimited card. Even when I'm spending, I'm earning 1.5% cash back on everything I buy. Earning on headphones. Earning. Still earning. Always earning. I don't know where you're pointing. Not that one. The big one. You can't sneak a good earning opportunity past me. In fact, I got a hand modeling gig that starts right now. Earn 1.5% cash back on everything you buy with Freedom Unlimited. Ooh, my hands look good. Jake, make more for yours.
Who you love doesn't love you back. Stay true and fight hard, burn fast with Toast.
No matter what I wore, I worried someone might see my bladder leak underwear. So I switched to Always Discreet Boutique. Its shape-hugging threads smooth out the back, so it fits better than Depend. And no one notices. Always Discreet.
It was the catch of the day. Fishermen hauled 3 Americans out of the ocean after their small plane made a crash landing in the Bahamas. This view from a Coast Guard aircraft shows the wreckage near Cat Cay. The twin-engine Piper was flying to Miami when it went down. The pilot and the 2 passengers escaped without serious injuries. New research today points to a link between caffeine and migraine headaches. The study in the American Journal of Medicine says 3 or more cups of coffee can trigger migraines in those who experience them occasionally. Migraines affect more than 1 billion people worldwide. Next, a photo finish. One of the most famous photos in the world, snapped 50 years ago today.
When you can't watch the evening news on TV, don't worry. We've got you covered. Subscribe to our podcast, sponsored by Liberty Mutual.
I have heart disease. Watch what I eat. Take statins. Still struggle to lower my LDL bad cholesterol, which means a heart attack or stroke. Strike without warning, pulling me away from everything that matters most. Because with high bad cholesterol, my risk of a heart attack or stroke is real. Repatha plus a statin seriously lowers bad cholesterol by 63%. Significantly drops my risk of having a heart attack or stroke.
Do not take Repatha if you are allergic to it. Repatha can cause serious allergic reactions. Signs include trouble breathing or swallowing of the face. Most common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, lower leg symptoms, back pain, high blood sugar, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site.
I won't let a heart attack or stroke stand between me and everything I love. Listen to you. Tell your doctor to lower your LDL and reduce your risk. Pay no more than $5 per month with your Repatha copay card.
Introducing the Unlimited Cashback Bank Account by Green Dot Bank. With one of the richest cashback Visa debit cards in America, Green Dot pays you an unlimited 3% cashback bonus when you make online in-app purchases.
Wait, what?
Uber?
Amazon? Walmart.com? I can't believe a bank would do that.
Believe it. Plus, the Unlimited app comes with a Green Dot Bank savings account that pays a 3% annual interest rate. Open your account at greendot.com and get a $50 cashback bonus. Spend like normal. Save up like crazy. Hurry. Offer ends soon.
I had no symptoms of hepatitis C.
Mine caused liver damage.
Epclusa treats all main types of chronic hep C. Whatever your type, ask your doctor if Epclusa is your kind of cure. I have the common type.
Mine was rare.
Epclusa has a 98% overall cure rate.
I just found out about my hepatitis C.
I knew for years. Epclusa is only 1 pill, once a day, taken with or without food for 12 weeks. Before starting Epclusa, your doctor will test if you have had hepatitis B, which may flare up and could cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you have had hepatitis B, other liver or kidney problems, HIV or other medical conditions, and all medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Epclusa may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects include headache and tiredness. Ask your doctor today if Epclusa is your kind of cure.
Are you already dreaming of your first vacation, little man? I found us a perfect hotel. Let's see which offers are available on Trivago. With Trivago, I can see prices from many different booking sites. This looks like a great deal. How much can we save? Over the course of 1 week, we can save $210. Awesome! Hotel? Trivago. Melatonin is the body's own sleep ingredient. Only RemFresh uses iron-powered melatonin to deliver up to 7 hours of sleep support. #1 sleep doctor recommended RemFresh, your nightly sleep companion. Available at Walgreens, Rite Aid, and select CVS pharmacy locations.
So, Bob, what do you take for back pain? Before I take anything, I apply topical pain relievers first. Salonpas lidocaine patch blocks pain receptors for effective, non-addictive relief. Salonpas lidocaine patch, roll-on, or cream.
Life's busy. That's why there's always a newscast waiting for you on your time. Look for the latest newscast on Amazon Fire with the KAUZ News Channel 6 app.
This morning. We end tonight as promised at the most famous crosswalk in the world because, as Charlie D'Agata tells us, it was the scene this 8th of August of an anniversary celebration.
It was 50 years ago today that 4 men crossed the road this way. Ever since, fans from across the globe have made the pilgrimage to stride across the most famous crosswalk in rock and roll. Julie Bolsch came here today from Colorado Springs.
The Beatles are forever. Everybody loves them. It's their 50th anniversary, and I wanted to breathe the air that the Beatles breathed and be here for this.
But this might never have happened. Naming the album after the nearby Abbey Road Studios was an impromptu decision, Sir Paul McCartney told 60 Minutes.
We had another title going on that we didn't really like, so I just said, hey, why don't we just call it Abbey Road?
That working title was Everest, but no one was in the mood to journey to Nepal.
So they chose an easier and much cheaper option. Why not just take a snapshot right outside the studio? Little did they know it would attract a circus like this 50 years later.
And yet the most popular album the Beatles ever made turned out to be the last they recorded as a group. And that iconic cover captures the moment they had come together for the final time. Charlie D'Agata, CBS News, London.
And we've come to the end of the road tonight. That is the CBS Evening News. I'm Nora O'Donnell. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the tunes.
Over me.
Live, local, now. This is News Channel 6.
A school bond in Wichita Falls that many people were expecting this fall, right now, is off the table.
Brenda Robledo was at today's school board meeting. She joins us live from the Education Center with what happened, Brenda.
Well, the bond proposal has been in the works for quite some time now, and it's been a hot topic on social media. But after the school board members discussed today, they decided they are just not ready to call for an election. Now, the bond proposal involved 2 options. Option A would be a single high school model, and option B would be a 2 high school model. The superintendent tells me the last few months they've been working on numbers and figuring out what schools would they keep or even retire.
The earliest we can do is a May bond, and so that means that bond has to be called, that election has to be called for in February of 2020 for a May 2020 election, and if it's not May 2020, it would not be until the general election in November again of 2020.
During the discussion, WFISD board members Catherine McGregor said after speaking with other community members, she had another option she wanted to pitch, which involved 2 schools, a 4A and a 6A, and that idea will be presented on Tuesday.
Brenda, pay raises also discussed today. Some things decided, but they're also talking more about that on Tuesday as well.
That's right, Chris. Well, since June, school districts in our area have announced their new salary schedule following the passing of Texas House Bill 3. And today, WFISD Board of Trustees discussed how a total increase of $24 million from the state will be used this year. And that being said, the school district decided to spend over $10 million in pay raises.
All of our teachers in our district will receive anywhere from a $5,000 to $9,000 increase, 13 to 17% increase in teacher salaries.
Board members approved this amount, but some did not agree on other staff members to get a 10% increase. We're talking about paraprofessionals, secretaries, instructional aides. Now, the district plans on comparing salaries with other school districts similar to them and plan on bringing it back for the board to approve on Tuesday. Now, school board members also got an update on improvements being made at Memorial Stadium and approved a change order. The school district has been doing renovations all summer long. They've sealed the whole upper deck of the stadium, and crew leaders say it should be complete in 10 days. And just lastly, last month we reported how the school district was short about 60 teachers, and today the school board found out that they are now only short 29 teachers. Now, once the school starts, they plan on using substitutes to fill in those empty spots while they look to hire others. Live outside the Education Center, Brenda Robledo, News Channel 6.
Foreign exchange students arrived at Wichita Falls Airport this afternoon ahead of the new school year. They will live with a host family for 10 months while attending Ryder, Old High, or Hershey High School. We caught up with one host family opening up their home for a second year to students from Spain and Ghana.
To really be more involved in the boys' lives and to make an impact on them and show them what America is really like, and what it means to be, from America for us, and then learn also as well about their countries and how important their countries and their families are to them as well.
Students were also being welcomed from Thailand, South Korea, and Italy.
Ken is going to join us now with the very latest on some dangerous heat that's across Texoma. Ken, this is a sizzling trend and is expected to stick around at least through the weekend.
Yeah, very hot weather, Chris. We have this dome, well, let's just say a mountain. It's a mountain of hot air. The atmosphere is real stretched out when that happens. It gets really hot. And it can also in tandem with that is drought conditions. They have redeveloped across the area, and it continues to expand and intensify with some severe drought areas beginning to show up. And without significant rainfall in the forecast, the drought is going to only get worse before it gets better. The radar not showing cooling showers tonight, although earlier today there were a couple little showers here or there. And much like last night and today, there could be some showers overnight tonight or tomorrow, but they'll be very small and very few and far between. We're watching those storms off to the north as they move east and south where they weaken, but again, a spotty shower or two not out of the question tomorrow. 100 down the Falls, finally made it to 100, 103 in Vernon.
Our second News Channel 6 day of the summer at Castaway Cove is winding down. Garrett James joins us live from the water park with a look at the fun, Garrett.
That's right, Ashley. It's definitely a hot day out here. We saw about 106 degrees here in Wichita Falls for the real field temperature. And what a better day to go out to Castaway Cove. It's been a very hot day. We've seen half price tickets today. It's been great. $10 gets you in the door till about 7 o'clock tonight. We can see everybody's enjoying the wave pool right now. They're having a great time as we speak, splashing around, enjoying the float. It's definitely hot enough to come out and enjoy the temperatures. We see it's a hot one. I'm about to go jump in the pool myself, just cool off for just a little bit. Garrett James, News Channel 6.
Tonight on the Hometown Pride Tour, we're taking a closer look at Vernon College and the role they've played for almost 50 years in that community. Emily Bjorklund has more on one program in particular that's growing and consistently and constantly innovating.
Community. It's what Vernon College tells me means the most to them.
It's just been exciting to try to do those things for the community.
And as part of the community, the college is working to expand and bring new programs to campus to help prepare their students for the real world.
The college and Vernon continue to grow depending on the needs of the community.
The program with the biggest impact? Nursing. As a way to stay at the forefront of the industry, the college has simulation mannequins for students to practice on before they begin working with patients.
And practicing, even if it's on a mannequin, it does make a huge difference.
And the practice has paid off, with both Mary Rivard and the college's provost saying that Will Barger General Hospital, which is right across the street from Vernon College, is their biggest employer of students.
We've got employers coming to us on a daily basis. They leave the college, they take that licensure exam, they are ready to go out into the workforce.
In Vernon, Emily Bjorklund, News Channel 6.
The college also mentions that they have submitted applications to add new areas of study next year, including a medical assistant and a barber program.
Up next, the fallen fighter pilot shot down in the Vietnam War is now back in Texas. More on his homecoming that left a crowd in awe at a Dallas airport. Plus, how paratroopers paid respect to World War II veterans today, and a beautiful tribute is just ahead.
Today's high officially at 101.79. This morning's low. Even at night, we're not seeing a big drop in temperatures. I'm going to talk more about the heat that we're seeing. That's the big weather story coming up in your forecast.
Closed captioning brought to you by American Ear Hearing and Audiology in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Summer sale at Ashley Home Store. Up to 25% off store-wide. Free prices of your choice. Get a king mattress with a queen mattress. On free bicycle. Only at your Ashley Home Store. Imagine your home being foreclosed on. Your car being repossessed. Imagine being overwhelmed by credit card debt. All of your paycheck going to payday loans. Massive medical bills. Imagine the IRS taking your paycheck. Now stop and imagine living your life debt-free.
I'm Monty J. White. Let me and my team work for you.
Someone to work for you. Find your kind of summer fun at Castaway Cove Water Park.
This is my kind of fun.
Junior admission is only $9.99 weekdays.
This is my kind of fun.
Find your kind of fun at Castaway Cove Water Park. Open daily.
Yeah, like I got this really cute OMG.
Friday, August 16th, Travis Illinois performs Memories of Elvis at the Apache Casino Hotel in Lawton. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the show starts at 7:30 p.m. Tickets start at $20. This is your happy place.
New summer clothing is arriving daily at Regeneration. We have trendy looks for all ages that will make you look stylish this summer. Be sure to watch Facebook and Instagram for our weekly specials. Regeneration on the corner of Midwestern Parkway and Taft, next to the Pelican Restaurant.
Hi, I'm Jordan Mosier, Director of Admissions at Advanced Rehab and Healthcare. If you or someone you love are in need of short-term rehab or long-term care, please contact me today for a complimentary tour and consultation. Advanced Rehab's focus is the healthcare needs and personal preferences of you and your loved one. Come to our state-of-the-art skilled nursing facility where our clinical teams serve with compassion and commitment to quality care. Advanced Rehab and Healthcare, achieving the highest level of personal independence in a warm, home-like environment.
Summer sale at Ashley Home Store. Up to 25% off store-wide. Free prices of your choice. Get a king mattress with a queen mattress. On free bicycle. Only at your Ashley Home Store.
Accurate weather. It's the most important thing News Channel 6 can give you in the morning.
Earth Alert meteorologist John Cameron has the experience to get it right. Earth Alert weather, weekday on News Channel 6 this morning.
Wait, does that mean I'm old? John Cameron, First Alert Weather on News Channel 6. Here's your First Alert forecast on News Channel 6.
You saw it a moment ago. Today's high was 101. You know, we started off the summer on a mild note. Most of June, July was mild, but August is making up for it. Boy, it's hot outside. 9 100-degree days so far this year, most of which has occurred within the last month. We have this heat advisory, this ongoing, and it's issue because temperatures are between 102 and 106 during the hotter parts of the day. Your real feel, 105 to 110. Overnight lows. And here's the kicker. Overnight lows are not even dropping a whole lot, so you don't get an opportunity to get a break from the heat. So your AC works overdrive. If you don't have AC in your house, which I hope if you live in this part of the country you do, then your body doesn't get a chance to have a break. Increased chances for heat and or illness. And of course, if you live in this part of the country and you've lived here for a long enough time and you do work outdoors, you already have a routine. You know what to do. But when we see temperatures this hot, best to work early or late. Take regular breaks. That's what I do. I'm outdoors cutting grass. I take regular breaks in the shade, drink a lot of water. That sunscreen always a good thing to use. And I shouldn't even have to tell you this one. Don't leave kids or pets in the cars. Outside now in Vernon, sunny skies. Hot, 103. A lot of the day was spent on the lower end of the heat scale, but the sun is out in full force now. Temperatures running close to 100 in the fall. Southeast winds, a hot breeze at that at 18 miles per hour. Look at the hot spot. Frederick at 104. Graham's at 99. Dakota 96, 102 in Graham. Few more clouds across the east. A little humid over that way as well, keeping temperatures down a bit. 83 first thing in the morning, so not even a big drop in temperatures tonight. Lunchtime 94 in the afternoon. Between 101 and 103, we're less than a week away from the WFISD starting school again. And this time next week, we're already talking about what the kids are experiencing. Of course, we're already seeing fall sport practices taking place, football, band, cross country, volleyball, those kinds of things. The kids are dealing with the heat. 104 tomorrow, Vernon, 103 in the Falls, 102 in Graham, 101 in Nakona. So there it is, hot, high pressure. It's a big mountain of hot air. Now, there are some indications that towards next week, maybe the middle of next week, there could be a small breakdown in this pattern that allows a front to drop in, maybe a slight rain chance, and maybe not quite as hot. So this is what it looks like on a weather map. There it is. It's called a ridge, or I call it a mountain. It keeps the jet stream, or the cooler air, north. Not a lot of day-to-day change, but if this does break down, and you can see here comes a little disturbance early next week, that might give us a slight chance for some showers or storms, and that might even give us a little drop in temperatures, but the overall weather pattern for a good part of this month is going to feature that mountain of hot air on top of us with more hot weather. 79 degrees for tonight's low. Tomorrow's high at 103. Here's your 7-day forecast. It's hot. Don't get much better. 104 Saturday, 105 Sunday, 105 Monday. Maybe a little small drop in temperatures towards the middle of next week.
The remains of a decorated Vietnam War hero were returned to Texas today, 52 years after his plane was shot down.
And the fighter pilot's son flew his father's casket to Dallas. The sight brought the gate to a standstill.
The arrival on a Dallas tarmac seemed to unite an entire airport for a homecoming more than 50 years in the making. Travelers peered through the terminal's glass windows and stood in silence as the flag-draped coffin carrying the remains of Colonel Roy Knight Jr. was brought back home to Texas. His son, Southwest Airlines Captain Brian Knight, flew the plane.
You can't imagine what an honor that is for a son to be able to do that for his father.
Knight enlisted in the United States Air Force right after his 17th birthday, following in the footsteps of his 5 older brothers who all served in World War II. He was a fighter pilot in Europe and later got the orders for Southeast Asia, flying combat missions in the Vietnam War until the day he was shot down in 1967.
I had accepted that I would never see that. I would never... during my lifetime that he would come home.
Knight's remains were not found and identified until earlier this year. Thursday, he took his final flight home to the same airport where a 5-year-old Brian said goodbye to his dad.
It means a whole lot to us that he's finally coming back to his country and to his family.
Knight will be laid to rest with a full military service this weekend, a delayed honor for a fallen hero and father. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
The family's planning to place POW MIA bracelets in Colonel Knight's casket.
Paratroopers took to the skies today to honor those who lost their lives in World War II. The 82nd Airborne Division Association held its annual convention in Virginia, and active duty Rangers took part. You can see they jumped out of the planes as veterans of the division watched from below. The ceremony was a salute to the paratroopers and glider men who died during the liberation of Europe 75 years ago.
Come together. That's what hundreds of Beatles fans did today in front of the iconic Abbey Road Studios to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the band's photo shoot for that album. John, Paul, George, and Ringo, in order, strutted across the street in front of the recording studio on August the 18th, 1969. Gosh, I'm 10 days ahead. Creating what is now one of the most infamous album covers of all time. 50 years later, fans still flock to St. John's Wood in North London to recreate the picture. There they are, wow. Up next, the latest on FBI pushing for the ability to gain real-time access to your online conversation. Plus, details on a charity fundraiser involving 60,000 rubber duckies. Just ahead.
Planning an event, party, or celebration? Texas Funhouse has what you need for any occasion. Come check out our wide selection of bounce houses and restaurants. With a large variety of food trucks, we have the right choice for anybody. Call us to reserve your rental today, or come in and jump for as low as $3. Texas Funhouse, located at 2526 Missile Road, Route 11. What makes the 4-day super sale at Denver Mattress so super? Well, that's 4 days of super low prices, like the Summit King, only $199.99. 4 days of super savings with $100 off any athlete's choice, any size, any model, and get up to 70% off clearance mattresses, adjustable bases, and bedding store-wide. Or purchase any Tempur-Pedic and get a free $300 furniture gift certificate. Plus, 5 years now with just financing. Hurry, the 4-day super sale ends Monday.
The 2019 Hotter at 100 is coming, and News Channel 6 is bringing you the heat. Live, sponsored by Endurance House. Watch live Saturday, August 24th. News Channel 6 will have race crew coverage all over the ride, from the starting line to the finish line. On air, Facebook, and the News Channel 6 app. Join News Channel 6 August 24th for live coverage of the 2019 Hotter at 100, sponsored by Endurance House.
I'm attorney Mike Markey with a message about insurance companies. You notice how they advertise a lot, and they all claim to have the lowest rate. Well, it's pretty easy to have a low rate when you don't pay people's claims. If you've been in a car wreck, you're going to find you're going to need a lawyer. Give me a call today. I'll make them pay your claim.
Mike Markey will work for you.
Mike Markey will work for you.
In tonight's Consumer Alert, an effort by the FBI to monitor social media for threats is now raising privacy concerns. Last month, the federal agency filed a request for bids from private contractors to gather data from social media users. Now, the FBI says it needs, quote, real-time access to a full range of social media exchanges. It's looking for contractors who can search platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and give the agency advanced warning of possible violent incidents or cyber attacks. But the FBI also wants to be able to give or have access to any given user ID numbers, emails, IP addresses, and telephone numbers.
In today's Texas Business Report, the grounding of Boeing 737 MAX now means 40 million fewer airline seats this summer.
Hello, Texas. A surprise increase in American oil stockpiles added fuel to fears of a global recession, and prices of oil fell to a 7-month low and is now in a bear market. While supplies of oil are high, if the world would go into a recession, that would reduce demand for oil as well. Well, the Boeing 737 MAX crisis is taking a huge toll on the nation's 3 major airlines. Airline company OAG says United, Southwest, and American have lost hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. And also Lubbock, noted for having some of the healthiest eating habits by the American College of Sports Medicine. The city had the lowest rates of both blood pressure and stroke. Irving, Dallas, Garland, El Paso, and Plano also in the top 10. And Wahlburgers, the burger restaurant known for its own reality show, is opening its first Texas location at the Star in Frisco. Actor Mark Wahlberg attended the Dallas Cowboys training camp as part of the restaurant announcement. The restaurant offers beef burgers and sloppy joes. From the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Jane King with your Texas Business Report.
Trending now, thousands of people attended the 14th annual Chicago Ducky Derby. Ashley loves this story. Crowds cheered on a flock of 60,000 of the iconic rubber toys as they bobbed toward the finish, some apparently needing some encouragement. Look at that. Now, besides bragging rights, the owner of the first duck to cross the finish line could win a new vehicle, cash, or a vacation. It was $5 to enter a duck. Look at that. Those are all those little ducks. All the proceeds go to the Special Olympics.
Bright yellow. Coming up in sports, we have a look at local 6-man football teams and the new head coaches taking over 4 out of 5 of those teams. Next in sports. Your Honor. Shoot up.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
All rise.
We're going to try. Your Honor. Go out there and kill it. Your Honor.
I'm a judge. My lord.
Honor.
My honor.
Your Honor.
Your honor. All rise.
one of the coffees for me?
Nope. I need them both to fight crime.
All right, coming this fall, the CBS.
Hot Buys at Hamilton Brown. Stainless multi-door refrigerator start at just $13.96. Heavy-duty washer dryer set only $7.96. Double reclining power headrest sofa or love seat with console just $7.96. Full-size Lazy Boy rocker recliners only $2.96. Queen-size pillow top mattress sets just $3.96. Sofas in 3 different styles only $2.96 each. Get them while they're hot. Hot Buys at Hamilton Brown in Wichita Falls.
Good business owners ask, how can I get more customers who can target the local people I want? With News Channel 6 digital marketing, you get experts who know how to find local customers. Let's work together. Call 733-2257.
They wanted to make sure they had all their ducks in a row, all their T's crossed and their I's dotted and all that before they went anywhere. That's what made me choose Auburn Legal, is because I knew how thorough they were going to be just by listening to Brad, Beverly, and Bill speak. I was like, okay, so once that process took on, I didn't worry about anything. Let them fight for you. That way you can focus on yourselves. You can get back to the way your life needs to be.
Casino. Win more and play longer. This Dallas Cowboys training camp update is sponsored by U.S. Cellular. Now it's time for sports on News Channel 6.
Tonight, the Blitz on 6 preseason previews move to our UIL teams, and we start with the 6-man teams in 1A Division II. Starting with the Forestburg Longhorns, who will have a new era with head coach Trey Cumbie taking over. Longhorns went winless last year, but Cumbie says he hopes to bring some consistency to Forestburg.
They've had a lot of different coaches. I'm the 5th coach in 5 years. So I think a little bit of stability and being able to actually grow a program and grow some leaders in that program is going to be a big benefit. I think we've already seen some of that with our strength and conditioning this summer, where I've started to develop some of these leaders, even these young kids who you can just see coming up. If they can have some consistency, they're going to be able to do some special things.
The Goldberg Bears will be competing with Forestburg for one of those coveted playoff spots. With only 2 returners, the Bears will have a new look this season, and their new head coach says he will use his military background to start building a strong foundation in Goldberg.
Well, it looks like a lot of the talent lies in some of the younger kids, freshmen, sophomores, juniors. Not a whole lot of seniors coming back, maybe one returning, but so it looks like some of the power, some of the quickness is going to be in the younger bunch, which is really good news for us in the long run.
The Throckmorton Greyhounds have some high hopes for 2019. Alumnus CJ Hance is taking over a program that won the district last season, but has struggled in the postseason for years. They will rely on Austin Koonsman and the other returners to help get them back to football prominence. The Benjamin Mustangs are on year 2 of the Shannon Waters era as they continue to build a football foundation. The Mustangs will try to end a long playoff drought while continuing their growth, and that's what Waters says is the main goal.
The continual growth that we're having, some new kids coming in that they're hungry, they're excited. I got some older guys that are leading the way, and man, I'm just happy with who we got right now.
The Woodson Cowboys wrap up Division II. The Cowboys made the playoffs last season for the first time since 2012, but now they'll try to go for a district championship with a new head coach. But returners Preston Collins and Chance Mackey leading the way. It'll be fun to watch it all shake out this season. So the Dallas Cowboys have a lot of expectations this season, and we'll soon see how they can live up to them. But one of the most important things for a team with high goals is getting everyone on the same page. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence is entering his 6th season in the league, and he's also coming off a season with his most tackles. Now he's just trying to pass down what he's learned to help create depth at the position.
Fortunate to have, a group of guys to come along and, be able to teach me the game and, how the NFL and the defensive line works. So that's all I, come back to do is be able to share my knowledge with the younger guys.
You can find more coverage of the Cowboys and the high school football previews all in the News Channel 6 app.
No job is too big or small for T&W Tire. We service both commercial and industrial vehicles. Need help at a job site? Just call and our service team will be there fast. T&W Tire. We're there when you need us.
It's the Honda Summer Spectacular event. That means more euphoric feelings that come from getting a great deal on a Honda CR-V or HR-V. Or from getting a Pilot or Passport. All part of 2019's best SUV brand. Hurry in today and experience the joy for yourself.
Get a great deal on the Honda CR-V, part of 2019's best SUV brand, at the Honda Summer Spectacular.
HomeZone's back-to-school event ends soon, so don't miss huge savings and 24 months financing on everything.
Store-wide deals like this designer dining set. 5 pieces, now just $245, while supplies last. Or save big on this kid-friendly sofa and love seat set. Both pieces, now just $399.
Head back to school in style with 24 months financing. HomeZone, style for everyone that anyone can afford.
From water or sewage leaks to fixture and water heater repair and replacement, or slab leaks and repiping, just call Wilburn and McCabe Plumbing, your full-service plumber.
Find your kind of summer fun at Castaway Cove Water Park. From the Pirates Plunge.
That's my kind of fun.
To the Lazy River.
This is my kind of fun.
To the Shipwreck Beach.
This is my kind of fun.
To Buccaneer Bay.
This is my kind of fun.
Visit weekdays and Castaway Cove Water Park has your kind of deal. Junior admission is only $9.99 weekdays.
This is my kind of fun.
Find your kind of fun at Castaway Cove Water Park. Open daily.
Good News is sponsored by Falls Home Health Services.
We have some good news before we go this evening. Take a live look from Deli Planet in Wichita Falls, where the 82nd Contracting Squadron's Booster Club is holding a fundraiser. 10% of food sales will be donated to the group for future morale events.
Prize trivia starts in about an hour with gift cards being given right to winners there. Deli Planet right off the base at 4014 Shepherd Access Road. The fun wraps up at 9:30 tonight. Best of luck, everybody. Looks like fun.
Introducing Price for Life, the lifetime deal from Suddenlink. Get Suddenlink TV and internet for just $54.99 a month for life. Not for 1 year, not for 2 years, not for 3 years, but for as long as you're a customer. Call 888-592-1993 now, and you'll get internet from the fastest internet provider, according to PC Mag. TV with over 200 channels. Plus, right now, you'll get a $100 Amazon.com gift card. All for $54.99 a month. For life? Yes. $54.99 will always be $54.99. You've never seen a TV and internet offer like this. Try Suddenlink TV and internet risk-free for 30 days. We guarantee you'll love it, and we'll give you your money back. Already stuck in a contract? We'll give you up to $500 when you switch, and we won't make you sign a new one. Plus, right now, you'll get a $100 Amazon.com gift card. Call 888-592-1993 or visit Suddenlink.com today. Get the once-in-a-lifetime deal that actually lasts a lifetime. Only at Suddenlink. Your local news is sponsored by Budget Signs of Wichita Falls, home of the No Questions Asked warranty. Call us today for a free in-home consultation. 940-276-0176.
Sony Pictures Studios, the America's King. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the stars of our show. Jay Jack and Jenna White. Oh, yeah. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jen. See you later, guys. Nice of you to show up. You ready?
Yep, you got the idea. First toss-up is worth $1,000, and the category is... Hey! Now let's go. Brianna.
Manhattan skyline.
That is it. Hey, Brianna, right? Hey, Brianna Stanton from Coonersville, North Carolina. And
Yes.
talk about your life there. What do you do, your family, anything we should know about you?
Well, I'm a receptionist in Kernersville at a church. This is the 3rd year of marriage to my wonderful husband, Adam, and I have an 8-year-old daughter, Phoenix.
Well, good. Well, it sounds like life's going real good back there, and you've already won $1,000. Congratulations on that. Hello, Melinda.
Hi.
Melinda Johnson came to us from Columbus, Indiana.
Yes, sir.
A preschool teacher there,
Yes,
huh?
sir. I've been doing that 30 years.
Wow, and so you've seen the kids grow up and have families of their own and all
We
that?
now have the children of our first students.
Yeah, well, that's pretty exciting. There's nothing wrong with that. Trust me on that. You're married.
I am to my wonderful husband, Paul. We're going to celebrate our 44th wedding anniversary next week.
That's great. And how many children and grandchildren?
We have 3 children and 7 grandchildren.
All right, nice to have you here.
Thank
Good luck
you.
to you. Hello, Jeremy. Hi, Pat. Jeremy Schwartz, South Hadley, Massachusetts. That's correct. You're a professional musician.
Yep, and I'm a lead singer in a band that travels around the Northeast, and we promote disability awareness.
All right, and what kind of music do you sing?
We do all kinds, pop, rock, jazz.
Got
we
it.
used to do Peruvian music.
Well, those we all know those. A big Boston sports fan, huh?
Yep.
And originally from Natick, Massachusetts.
That is correct.
Want to get the hometown. Crossword puzzlers will know who that is. All right, everybody, you want to get ready? We're going to do another toss-up. This one is worth $2,000. We'll also decide who starts first round. And it's rhyme time. Here we go. Jeremy.
Handy dandy.
That is correct. And it rhymes. So Jeremy gets the $2,000. He'll be spinning in a moment. Let's take a quick look at the next puzzle. The category is husband and wife. Okay, Jeremy, go ahead. Spin. Well, that's not a bad first spin here. Well, pick up the $1 million. Pick it up. There you go. Turn it around. You look good with it. All right, put it down there, Jeremy. You can't spin any of that, so you need to spin the wheel again. $650.
T.
There are 2 T's.
I like to buy a vowel.
Okay.
E.
There are 2 E's.
I like to buy another vowel. A.
4 A's. You'll have $800. There come the A's. Jeremy, what do you want to do next?
I'll spin the wheel.
500.
N.
3 N's. On he goes. 2,300. There you have it.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Okay.
I.
1 I. $700.
D.
1 D.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Okay.
O.
Yeah, 2 O's. Well, you brought us on a vowel. They're all gone now. You have $2,500, not to mention that.
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Well, then go ahead.
George and Martha Washington.
There they go. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? Congratulations. Wow. I didn't even know they were dating. It's amazing. $2,500. That's $4,500. Yeah, sure, you get it. And you'll have spend it. We have to play some more after this. You get excited around here.
That's how many students Texas every year. And if you're fighting Texas, come see why we're there, Chief.
We all know replacing flooring in your home takes careful consideration. Don't you think a second opinion is a good idea? Briegels has been making homes beautiful for years. Before making your final decision, stop by Briegels for a free second opinion.
Sit back and enjoy these neon summer nights. Iowa Casino and Hotel. Select Wednesdays, there are cool prizes to win, like an ATV, a seated, a 2 night getaway or a complete camping package. On select Thursdays and Fridays, there'll be plenty of chances to win free play. And on August 30th, someone's going to ride off on a boat with the grand prize, a new Bass Lucky. Don't spend your evenings anywhere else. Kiowa Casino and Hotel. Win big. Disney on summer nights.
After a hospital stay, short-term rehab might be needed, and that's why the Gables at Rolling Meadows is the best choice for getting your loved one back to good health quickly. Specializing in comprehensive speech, occupational, and physical therapy, the skilled professionals at the Gables support a return to independence and a safe return home. You can count on our team to make the well-being of your parent or loved one a top priority. The Gables at Rolling Meadows, the best care for those who matter most.
Tonight's show is brought to you by the following.
Ancestry. Discover the people, places, and stories that led to you.
I decided to take the DNA test, and I was shocked. I'm from Cameroon, Congo, and the Bantu people.
New features, greater details, richer stories. Get your DNA kit today at Ancestry.com.
Free round is brought to you by Kaboom!
Cleaning with Kaboom feels like...
Watch out!
satisfying.
We are back before and after. That's the category for this round. And Adriana, you will start, please. 700 hours start.
N.
3N.
How about a vowel?
Mm-hmm.
O.
Yeah, a bunch of those. Base 5 is officially up. That takes you down to $1,850. What's next?
I'll buy another vowel.
Hmm?
I.
Yeah, 3 I's. Good job. Now what?
I'll buy another vowel.
Okay.
A.
Not this time. Sorry, no A. Melinda.
A.
600.
T.
Sure. 1 T.
I'm going to buy a vowel. I'm going to buy the E.
There is 1 E here. Hold your breath here. I'm afraid it's going to get you. Jeremy has that $1 million wedge from the spin the wheel. All right. S. Yeah, well, the S's are coming up. You pick up that wild card, please. And 4 S's will come up. That'll get you $2,000.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Okay.
U.
The last of the vowels. We know it's up there somewhere, and there it is. 550.
R.
1 R. The wheel got you. The good news is we're not going to touch that wild card, or certainly that $1 million wedge. And Brianna, it's your turn. $650.
C.
There's a C. Okay, what letter would you like?
W.
There is a W. That's worth $1,000. Plus you got $2,000. So you're taking a $3,000 gamble if you look back there, but you can turn it to $10,000. She just wants to do it. Okay, do it. We don't want to see Bank. We want to see that 10 grand, and we see the 10 grand. Right down there, if you would. Let's put it right down there on the way. There you go. So you got that cash prize, plus you have $2,000. Spin or solve?
I'll spin.
All right. That's all right. What letter would you like?
F.
Yes. What would you like to do?
Solve.
Oh, please.
Food court is now in session.
You said that F with no confidence at all. Boy, that was a really good round for you. You got this $10,000 prize plus some other cash. That's a $12,550 round. You're up to $13,550. Hey, you did all right. Congratulations. Hang on to that. Be back in call. Right up to this. Feels good.
solve this puzzle from 2003? It's a phrase. We'll give you the answer when we come back, right after this.
America's favorite game show is now in your wallet with the official Wheel of Fortune Card.com prepaid Visa card. The prepaid card with no hidden fees and no credit check. Plus, get your paycheck up to 2 days earlier than your coworkers with early direct deposit. Banking fully from your smartphone. Visit Card.com and get your Wheel of Fortune card today.
Here's the correct puzzle solution. Keep watching Wheel for more classic puzzles.
New ice cream cookie sandwiches from Sonic. Delicious cookies and real ice cream are on a summer reunion tour. They taste so good live. Hurry in for Sonic Nights. New $1.49 ice cream cookie sandwiches and half-price shakes after 8.
Johnny, what are you doing? I said how many times I can do this in a 30-second commercial. Why? Most of these mattresses sell themselves. You speak truth, but the people of this land need to know that if you buy today, we deliver today. 32, 33. You can try it 100 nights, risk-free. 37, with 38, 12 months, 39, no interest, 62, 62, and a free pillow with the purchase of a $4.99. 56. Johnny, do the intake. Fairest prices of the land, only on Mattress King.
I hurt with every step I took. My life now after joint replacement it just changed tremendously. Being able to sleep through the night without waking up because of pain in my right shoulder or pain in either one of my knees. It's tremendous. I feel so much better. Plus, getting up in the morning and putting 2 feet on the ground and not having that pain when I stand up.
If you're looking for a new mattress, we have the solution. Hamilton Bryan's new Sleep Solution system reveals your body's pressure points, allowing us to identify the exact mattress specifically for your body type.
Hamilton Bryan has the right pricing and experts with decades of experience. Free delivery, setup, and removal. Many sets have a 90-day comfort guarantee.
Hamilton Bryan's The Sleep Solution.
Carhartt Classic for just $2.99 is the perfect 1-2 punch of flavor and value. Time that! You need a trainer to help you eat the burger? Hey, stay out of this. Don't get in my head, man. There's barely room for me in there.
Hurry in and try quarter-pound double cheeseburger or 6-inch Philly plus tots for $2.99.
So here's the question. What are you wearing? And that's actually the category for this next round. It's also a prize puzzle round.